Wait, someone has been in my studio. This light switch was left on. It would appear I have a bug problem I must sort out. In the meantime, commencing Operation Liberation, as in your audio receptors are currently liberated from the terrible sound your hosts on this podcast make for the next 20 seconds. Now, witness as I transition from serenading you with my smooth voice and leaving you with those so-called hosts. On with the show.
Hello and welcome to the podcast where we are currently recapping the events of Transformers IDW 2005 continuity. I'm Onyx Prime with my two co-hosts here.
Howdy, I'm Computron.
Hi, I'm Kilobyte.
Moving on with our comic book discussion for today's episode takes us to IDW Lost Light Volume 1, which is a continuation of Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. And as always, spoiler warning. So if you haven't read it already, we highly recommend you to go back. Yeah, that's right. Go back and read it. Then come listen to the podcast. Now, onwards.
Just pause the podcast.
Pause right here. All right. Both Computron and myself have read this series already, but this is Killbyte's first time, and we are excited to hear his thoughts, theories, and comments. But before we can even do that, Computron likes to do this thing where he talks about trivia and facts, and sometimes it's entertaining. Sometimes you learn something. Computron, are we learning something today?
I mean, I don't even know anymore, I guess.
Take it away.
Okay, so there are a total of 6 comics for this volume. First issue was released December 14th, 2016, and the 6th and final issue in this volume was released June 7th, 2017. And the writers was James Roberts, and the artist was Jack Lawrence, with colors by Joanna Lafuente and John Paul Bove. All right, so to trivia. In issue 1, when Rewind realizes what has happened at the end of the issue, he quotes Arthur Dent from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy novel, Mostly Harmless, when he remarks, "Right planet, wrong universe." In issue 2, Shock's name is visible on the Necrobot's memorial, but he didn't appear. He was killed by a Spark Eater, and his body was found in More Than Meets the Eye issue 2. It was his fellow Duobot, Or, who mysteriously disappeared in the 2012 annual. Rather than consider this mistake, we'll assume it's a subtle extension of the joke that nobody could tell the two Duobots apart, not even the Necrobot. In issue 4, we see a box that promises a tale of two rungs, a reference to Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. For the last trivia, in issue 6, as quoted by Rodimus, incorrectly describes the Autobots' situation with the Latin phrase quid pro quo, which means to trade one favor for another. Rodimus really wants to be using the term catch-22 or double-blind, which refers to unwinnable scenarios in which one requirement for victory contradicts the other. I think that's last it. So, Mr. Keelbite, you mind giving us a short summary of these comics?
Will do. The stranded Lost Lighters take stock following their victory against the DJD, while Rodimus' team gets to grips with the functionalist universe. Tailgate's increasingly aggressive behavior lands A-Node in hot water. Rodimus and company learn more about the history of the functionalist universe, and World comes up against an old nemesis. On Cybertron, Rodimus and Megatron butt heads at the functionalist console plans pick up speed, while on Necroworld, love stories rarely have happy endings. Wrong's purpose is revealed at last as the functionalist console plan enters its endgame. And finally, the Autobots' visit to functionalist Cybertron comes to an end, but not everyone makes it out alive. While on Necroworld, an A-Node risks it all to conquer death. Strong stuff. And as always, this information has been taken from the wiki.
From the wiki.
From the wiki. Indeed, gotta give credit where it's due. Are you two ready to dive in?
Yes. Oh, this one's going to be a long one, but yeah.
Yeah, so Strap on in, I think, is the human phrase. Right? Is it strap in? I hope it's in and
I
not
think
the
it's
other one.
buckle
Anyway,
up, buckaroo. I'm not
buckle up,
sure.
buckaroo. We are introduced to our new characters, and at least one of my new favorites on a list of favorites. Anode and Lung. What do we know right away, Kilo and Comp, about these two bots?
They're possible troublemakers.
So they'll fit right in on the Lost Light, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Kilo.
That they work good together.
Yeah, work good together.
I
Nothing
like
can
how
go
I
wrong.
see the negative and you see the positive.
Yeah, I really like Lug and Anode's. What little we saw of it at the beginning, their relationship is because like Anode is like super optimistic and Lug is like everything's gonna go wrong. Great.
So good.
So while that's happening, we fast forward 500 years later because Anode and Lug, that's 500 years in the past. Rodimus gets a new paint job. Who would like to tackle the meaning of this new paint job?
I'll do it because I hate Getaway, and you'll understand why, people, because it's a really gorgeous paint job. So our friend Onyx here, he went and ordered what is it, like a model?
It's a model kit. Yes.
It's like a model kit of Rodimus, and what he did was he painted it purple and blue. And so how it's kind of described, and I'm pulling up a picture here, is he's got kind of like a purple chest piece with like a blue subcolor and then kind of like a dark purple on his shoulders. So it kind of looks almost like his, I'm going to say almost without the mustache, kind of like his Shattered Glass look, colors combo kind of thing.
I can see it.
And so what it means is who painted him this color was Drift. And in this kind of thing, it has a meaning. And it's essentially with this coloration is a promise to kill. And in this case, Drift questioning Rodimus was, well, you understand this is the promise to kill, and who do you plan on killing? And the first thing out of Rodimus' mouth is Getaway.
The one that got away.
Of course, the whole world shook, and then, Drift just happened to brush his face accidentally with a little bit of purple. Moving on.
So funny. Yeah, moving on. So I enjoy Brainstorm double reverse engineering, a teleportation device that barely works. And it's also odd that it takes two to check the coordinates. Weird. But it works.
It's kind of weird.
Everyone arrives on Cybertron. Yay! Right? Everything goes exactly as planned. Like always.
Like always, right?
Everybody does exactly what they're told.
Exactly. But no, Kilo, what happens?
Well, our team of Lost Lighters appear on Cybertron, yes, but it's not their Cybertron. It's the functionalist Cybertron, which we visited before through Rewind's memories. We were shown a time where Rewind was with Minimus and Dominus. Minimus was just returning from his duties, and Dominus his head was changed with the monitor. And now we've come to this world where everything you say and see is controlled by the council, or the Senate in this case.
Yes,
Which
the
is
fascist
not a
council.
Yes, it's not nice. It's not good.
It's not nice. But our heroes arrive just in time to be saved by the AVL, to the Anti-Vocationist League. Same thing,
The
right?
Anti-Fascist League, right? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Anti-Fascist League.
Oh, excuse me.
Excuse you. And I really enjoy a lot of the characters in this alt universe take inspiration from the Transformers Armada, Transformers Energon series. Like a lot of the same models that they use for a lot of these characters are reused in this comic, but they have different colors, right?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
two Jetfires.
Two Jetfires, the Energon Jetfire. On the flip side of things, what are our thoughts on Tailgate in a fit of rage accidentally hitting Node? Quick to the point there again. What are our thoughts?
Can I explain
Yes.
why? Like the beforehand stuff. So,
Yeah.
like all the people woke up from these pods, and some of them were Decepticons that didn't necessarily know that the war was over, or didn't accept that the war was over, right? And one of these people was Fangry. And Fangry was talking to, I forgot who he was talking to, was essentially saying, well, we're outnumbered 3-1, but the best idea is to take out the strongest one. And in this case, he was pointing towards Tailgate. So Fangry did a little something to Tailgate. In this case, he I think he did something to Cyclonus, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, when Cyclonus is sleeping, he has night terrors, and he accidentally hits Cyclonus several times, doing extreme damage in some cases.
Yeah, but that wasn't Fangry. That was
That was in Fangry.
yeah. Tailgate thinks it's Fangry. We later on discover it's not Fangry. But yes.
Exactly. And I want to leave a note here for the listeners. Fangry is another fan favorite of Computron, but Computron, continue on.
Yeah. So anyway, Tailgate gets mad and he goes in and he wants to wallop Fangry, like big ol' wallop. And well, a node kind of comes in and was trying to break up the fight, and we all know Tailgate has a super strength. Problem is he's getting really, really strong, and he's getting more and more strong, and he's burning a lot of energon. And his strength is kind of almost pretty much getting out of control to the point where a node kind of puts their hand on Tailgate's arm, and Tailgate, it looked like from his perspective he was trying to nudge a node off, but ends up walloping a node even harder than he was walloping Fangry, and a node goes flying like hundreds of yards away and just pretty much out cold.
Yeah.
All I
It's a
can
sad
say
tale.
all I can say is the sun is real low, big guy. Time to go to bed.
He needs a nap.
Computron, I know you just talked about Tailgate. Do you mind talking about, and we'll just do it all at once, Whirl and their favorite nemesis?
All at once, so I like, because in this comic there's a lot of back and forth. Okay.
A lot
Yeah.
back and forth. Just talk about the whole encounter, I guess.
Whirl meets his nemesis, Killmaster, aka what was his real name? I forgot what his real name was.
I think it was Master
Master Killer or something
Master
like
Killer.
that, like
He became
something
Killmaster,
really lame. And so Killmaster has a wand. Well, first of all, back up. Killmaster was one of the bots that was kind of in a pod, but he didn't really open up. And I think that was the whole like investigation of like, why didn't this pod open up? And then lo and behold, it's Whirl's best friend, Killmaster. And I think while he was there, I think he was with Swerve, and he was like, well, how did you defeat him? He's like, good question. I actually never defeated this guy.
Yeah, he lied about it. He's just like, I just assumed he died because, bots like him don't
He
retire.
disappeared for a million years. And I was like, he's dead.
He just wanted to take the credit.
So what happens is Killmaster has a wand that, in this case, I think it was discovered that it puts people in a pocket dimension. Whirl was trying to fight him. There's a couple of people that got zapped. It was Swerve and it was
10.
What was that? 10.
10. Yep.
I don't know why I was thinking wrong, but it was 10. Whirl was kind of fighting him, and he was, requesting backup. And then one of the people that was coming in for backup, in this case, he was requesting Cyclonus, comes in, and Cyclonus, out of nowhere, has half of his face missing, half of his arm missing, and almost half of his body just completely damaged. But somehow they help, I won't say destroy, but help beat up Killmaster. And they take the wand back to Brainstorm, who was actually able to, again, reverse engineer the wand to bring back the people from the pocket dimension. But can I talk about the whole why Cyclonus is missing half of, like, literally almost everything?
Yeah, I think we covered it a little bit when we were talking about Fangry, but you can cover it again if you want.
So Cyclonus was not telling Tailgate that he's hurting him when he's asleep. And Whirl, and kind of the reason why I want to talk about this is Whirl is like, you have to tell Tailgate that he's doing this too. And Cyclonus looks at him and goes, we never had this conversation, and I'm never telling Tailgate. And so a little bit later in the comic, Whirl's the one that actually breaks the bad news to Tailgate.
Exactly. Moving on from that sad news to from more of a fascist universe. Oh, hell, the useless one, am I right?
Well,
but what I really enjoy is Ratchet's unamused face when Brainstorm and Nightbeat squeal when they find out about the new universe.
Of course.
That was pretty
So
funny.
good.
I do like in the background, 'cause I think Brainstorm's the one that first picks up, and so they tell him the news, and he starts flying around, and then Nightbeat picks it up, and then he hears the news, and so then they switch, and so Brainstorm's now picking up, and you can see Nightbeat driving around in circles, all excited. It was pretty funny.
Very funny. Kilobyte, do you mind describing more in depth about this new universe, specifically when the team meets 9 of 12, the one that defected from the Functionist Council? Like, what makes this different? What was the deciding event that caused the branch?
What was the deciding event that cost the branch? Oof. nine of 12 decided to break up from the Senate because he doesn't approve of what's going on. Based on the history, the current Functionist Senate is trying to install fear into the citizens, and that way, if they have fear, then they don't have, they won't think for themselves, and they'll want everything done for them. And so the crew discovers the past of what's been going on, how the original Senate was dethroned by this Functionist Senate, and they've started creating new rules. And suddenly in the big screen, they see Wrong, and the Senate starts explaining that Wrong is the key to Vector Sigma and a way to enter Vector Sigma, because the pools on Cybertron emptied. And so the Functionist said that if Primus wanted to create life, he would have created it. The pools would not have dried. So creating, I don't want to say it's not real life, but they're creating these bodies with these sparks that are being handmade, created or created by bots, that they say that doesn't go with the religion. And so they sealed off Vector Sigma, and so the Senate say that Wrong was created to enter Vector Sigma, and so the protective barrier is unobtainium, and Wrong has a big drill head that has unobtainium on it, and so only unobtainium can destroy unobtainium. And the crew decides to rescue Wrong because they have mass displaced his body because he's become this huge drill, and that's causing a lot of pain, and so Ratchet is there to save him. While the rest of the crew tries to protect the Cybertron from Luna 2, which was sold to the Black Consortia, but it was all a lie because the Functionist Senate, 12 of 12, if I'm not mistaken, he is using the moon as an extractor. He's going to send it off to different planets and get materials and minerals so they can create more life. And they're going to use it here on Cybertron to take care of all the population that they deem not useful. And if your alt mode is not useful, you're just going to be melted for parts. And like that. And so they're using Luna 2 as this big magnet to bring everybody into Luna 2. So the crew splits off, and Megatron is in charge of leading the resistance, while Rodimus is in charge of rescuing Wrong.
It's quite a bit. It's quite a master plan.
Yes.
Before we dive too further in, I'd like to dive into some other details. But first, a quick ad break.
Let's play Guess That Con.
Hey all lifeforms, this is Highbeam here, and I have a message for you. I'm at your local Dino King, and Beryllium Baloney Dinobot Nuggets are back! That's right, for a limited time only, you can purchase Beryllium Baloney Dinobot Nuggets! Made from the freshest minerals, both lightweight and strong alkaline earth metals, you know it has everything you want. Each nugget is formed into adorable chibi dinosaur shapes.
Waspinator would like to know if you ordered that.
Oh, hi! I didn't see you behind me in line. Yeah, just a click. I'm thinking out loud. Beryllium Baloney Dinobot Nuggets are delicious, and also, for a limited time, when you buy one box, you can get a second one free. That's 2 for the price of 1.
What? No. I think you're full of sodium salami.
Nope, I'm full of beryllium baloney.
You two cause me torture because you will not order.
Wait, I didn't read the rest of the menu yet.
Are you serious? Waspinator needs his dino nuggies.
It's Skyward.
And welcome back. What were your thoughts on Rung's alt mode in this universe?
I want Kilo's opinion because I know what the other one is.
I thought it was interesting in the sense that, like, I know they made him look like a drill, but the drill head does not look like a drill head. It looked like a crystal. So,
Yeah.
like, I could tell it wasn't his real form before they said it wasn't. And because Ratchet says that, he's not supposed to be that big and all that. And so I just figured that Wrong was going to be a tool of some kind. But we haven't really seen his alt mode too much. This is kind of me of going based on the toy that came out in the Siege line. And he kind of in the Siege line he's a gun, but I think he was more of he looks like a wrench kind of tool, which is kind of sad being a bot that could be anything and you become a wrench.
All hail the not so useless one? Question mark?
Yeah, I know, right? So, like Kilobyte was saying, the moon comes into view. I mean, that's no moon. That's Luna 2. Well, it's been converted into like a harvester unit with freaking tractor beams. Oof.
Freaking space laser.
Exactly.
I do want to say, Kyler, before we get into that, was one of the funniest things to me is that Rung is like this kind of almost looking pathetic individual, right? And
You could say so.
people from the Lost Light do not want to stay here. They want to leave. One of the things that they were trying to do is they were getting ready to trying to leave, and this pathetic Rung looks at Rodimus and goes, "If you want to leave, you have to go through me." And that was the end of that issue. Next issue, Rodimus just punches him in the face, like saying, "Okay, I will." Pop. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit too far for Rodimus.
I think he had pent up frustration from the Rung of their universe.
Yes.
And he's like, I'll just take it out on this one. We're leaving, so he's not going to care, I guess.
No one's going to stop me. I really enjoy the banter while they're rescuing this Rung between Rodimus and the Matrix head guy, mocking him with his hand and flapping it as if it was blah, blah, blahing.
Yes, that reminded me of a movie. I think it's Master of Disguise, where he goes, "This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to do." Oh my god, so good.
So flipping back to the main universe, I'm going to call it main verse. We find out that Rung in this universe, as it turns out, can make photonic crystals. Killa, what are your theories on what these are for?
I thought they were going to be some sort of energy source of some kind. Kind of hard for me to, because for Transformers everything is energon. So when they say photonic crystals, I was like, I have no idea what this is. This could be anything. This could just be a new type of fuel source. Either it's been dried off for billions of years, and somehow Rung is now creating some. And that's kind of about it. I didn't really think much about it. I was like, I guess I'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. I don't think we find out in this one entirely. Other than like they assisted with helping with life. I think Nova Prime in the Functionalist universe was using it for that.
Yes, he was using it to...
It's constructing coal. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
But this volume issue story wouldn't be a James Roberts issue story if we didn't have a love tragedy. And that tragedy is Anode's friend, Lug, turns out to be dead the whole time. She's been in her head the entire time. Thoughts on this event?
Big sad.
Big sad.
But it's a James Roberts gut punch.
The gays can't be happy.
For me, it is, definitely sad, but it didn't impact me as much as if it happened later on, because this is the first time we're meeting these characters. And so, like, I don't know much about them and I'm not too attached to them. Like, I really enjoy their interactive at the beginning, and it wants me to, like, I want to learn more about them, especially Anode's kind of archaeologist, digging up treasure and all that personality. I really like those type of characters. But then Lug not being there, I'm like, well, I guess they're not there. I didn't like it. It was like, okay, it's sad, but not too much for for me, the reader, just because I don't know much about them, I'm not too attached to them. I feel like it happened too
Completely
fast.
fair. Yeah, completely fair. These are new characters. Not a lot has been established with them.
Right. Which is kind of weird. Like here.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
Yeah, here you go. We're gonna give you something. Oh, nope, you can't have it. Back
Yeah.
to the alt universe. Megatron is having conflicting feelings. He wants to stay here in the functionalist universe and help save people. And he doesn't want it to also look like he's running away from his trial while doing it. So he feels conflicted. He wants to help, but he doesn't want it to look like he's running away from his trial because he doesn't want to run anymore. He wants to face things.
That's interesting.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I did. I really liked that this was his redemption, and
Yeah.
or his opening, his door opening to be redeemed.
Mhm.
Especially,
Yeah.
it's also hard for him because he's with Terminus, and Terminus doesn't know anything that's happened throughout
Yeah.
the 4 million year war. So Terminus is all kind of like trying to be like, you're inspiring. You should lead these people or these bots and all that. And Megatron's like, I know you believe in me, but I've done so many bad things. Like I don't even think I should be doing this kind of thing, And it's just like hurting him inside, not being able to tell his friend what he's done in a way.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. But moving us along a little bit, do we have any favorite scenes while Rodimus, Megatron continue to fight against the functionalists, except for, everyone's big favorite scene, Big Rung punching the moon.
I could tell you the contra positive, not the contra, like the opposite of is when Run just gets smooshed.
Oh,
Or wrong.
Poor
I don't
Ron.
think he gets smushed. He just gets overwhelmed with pain because it come to find out anyone can be mass displaced by size, but the bigger you go, the more pain you take on. So
Yeah.
because he was so big, he was the size of like 5 titans on top of each other. So he was massive. He was probably like under an enormous amount of stress. And that's what probably killed him.
I kind of, and the listeners are probably like, "Oh, of course, Comic Chum." I said, I kind of didn't mean that in a sarcastic way. I liked that they did that with Rung in the sense that it gave
Mhm.
me more respect for Rung's character, because this is a different Rung that was putting up with hardships, and in the end, he went out in a blaze of glory. And throughout all of MTM, More Than Meets the Eye and everything, Rung wasn't really much of a fighter. He was kind of like this pacifist almost. And for me, it was nice. It gave me more respect for Rung, even though this isn't the Rung that we shipped with.
That we shipped with. I do like what like this little story arc for the wrong for the wrong of this universe. I thought it was pretty neat, and that he was willing to become a beacon for these bots by sacrificing himself, which was pretty cool.
Absolutely. So moving along, we get to our conclusion of this universe, fighting the functionalists, and it's a race to get to the teleporters, but Rodimus, the first teleporter, does not work. So they need to change locations. And on their way to the second location, Roller calls Terminus and tells them that change of plans. However, Terminus does not tell Megatron about the change of plans and instead takes him to the teleporter that's not working while the other team is going to the one that does work, forcing Megatron to stay behind and help the functionalists. I think this is because Terminus wants to see Megatron do good.
He wants to see Megatron kind of own his word, because remember how he's listening to Megatron write the Decepticon manifesto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least that's what I thought.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
Terminus believes in the Megatron that was with him in the mines and all that, and he just doesn't know like anything that Megatron has done. So for him, he's always going to be a hero, or at least during this period. Before, I don't know if he'll ever find out, but for now, Megatron is like his idol, his hero. He's like, yes, he's going to move us forward. He's going to get us out of here, and he's going to help these bots fight for their freedom.
Yeah. So Megatron staying behind. I enjoy him inspiring the survivalists / resistance to rise up against the functionalists. Anyway, Kilo, do you have any other favorite parts about this ending here before we move on to the main verse ending.
So towards the end of the functionalist universe, Megatron is rallying the bots, and he's gonna tell them that they're gonna fight for freedom, and they're gonna teach every other bot what their vision is gonna be of the freedom that they're fighting for. But we also see Megatron standing on a ledge looking at the stars, and he has a communicator, and suddenly it says, "Roller, is that you?" And earlier in the issue, Roller was trying to communicate with Orion Pax. And so for me, the teleporting scene was happening. I thought that Roller had given Terminus the wrong location. That way Megatron would stay, just because Megatron, for Roller, Megatron symbolizes Orion Pax. Like, they have a lot of similarities. And so he wanted to see Megatron do good as well. He doesn't know he doesn't know what Megatron's done. But since he wasn't able to communicate with the Orion Pax of this universe, he's like, I need to leave somebody that can, bring that truth and bring that fight to these functionalists and bring them down, which I really, really enjoyed. And it says peace through empathy, which is pretty good.
Really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the opposite of peace through tyranny, what he usually used to go with.
Yes.
Computron, you have any favorite parts of this alt universe?
You took it.
It was so good.
It was peace through empathy. I know with this that there's gonna obviously, and you can get the vibe, and there's gonna be an uprising against the functionalist society.
Let's do it. Let's fight the fascisms.
But it's
Right.
nice that Megatron has somebody to kind of hold him in place, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, he has Terminus there.
He has Terminus. He has Orion.
I'm assuming Terminus is going to get eliminated, and then he'll be angry, and then he'll
Welcome
come back
to
to his
the-
old ways.
Theory Corner with Kilobyte. Back to the main verse. Ano discovers how to bring back Lug. Happy ending indeed. Although, in my opinion, it feels like quick and like we didn't have enough time to both get to know these characters or mourn. Anyway, that happens. Thoughts?
Oh, haha, just kidding. Lug's alive.
Feel the same way. It's like you just kill them off, and then now you're bringing them back. It's just like, it feels like this is the whole Rewind Chrome Dome scenario again. Like, yes, they're gonna be back together, but then they're not the same bots that they were with before.
Exactly.
So it's probably just gonna be as awkward as the Rewind and Chrome Dome when they were starting to work things out. So we'll see where that goes.
Are there any final thoughts about this volume as a whole? Anything we didn't touch up on, or anything you want to revisit and just say, yeah, this was fantastic?
Oh, gosh. No. There's just so much to talk about.
Yeah, please go read it. When we do these reviews, we don't talk about everything. These are literally like the spark notes, pun intended.
I really
These-
want... Yeah. Yeah.
I just clicked and he just lost it.
Yep. I was going to say, I think, we touched about, I want to
Tip of the
say
iceberg.
30 or 40% of the comic. We never actually went in total depth.
Yeah. All right, let's do Rod Stars then. Computron, you want to go first?
Good for start off, but I guess I'm not a fan of just immediately killing off somebody that we just met, kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, give us a 4.5. 4. I'm gonna lean towards a 4, actually.
4? Okay. Kilo?
I'm there with you. It's also for me a 4. Like, it's a good start off for the Lost Light story. It kept me intrigued, especially with the Functions universe and how things are working over there. It always kept me guessing, like, how they're gonna go back and how they're gonna, go back to their universe, and if they're gonna go back to their universe, because now they're kind of attached to this whole rebellion, and they want to protect it. So that kept me involved. I didn't really like the whole Ano Lug sad story that Lug didn't make it. But I do like the character, so we'll see what goes on from here. But a 4.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with all your points. They're all valid, but the art is beautiful. So 4.5 for me.
No, the art is always beautiful.
I mean, how can you beat it?
was not
How can you
Alex
beat it?
Milne.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
It was
wasn't.
surprising.
Still
Yeah.
good. Still good.
Yeah.
It's still good. Yes.
That's Computron. There's artists that are good. Not they
Well,
don't.
I'll be honest. When I first read it, I thought it was Alex, but like there were just some gimmicks, and like, no, this doesn't feel like Alex.
They gotcha.
Yeah,
They
it's
gotcha.
it's very similar for sure to Alex,
Yeah.
but you can see it with some of the character designs. Like Cyclonus no longer has his like skull phase. His
Mhm.
mouth is just one piece now instead of being divided like it used to be. So you can see those details there.
Yeah, subtle differences, but still wonderful. The colors, the lines, fantastic. But listeners, what did you think of these comics? How many rod stars would you give it? Let us know by leaving a comment below. All right, so if you would like to get in contact with us, you can send us an email at swervesbarpodcast@gmail.com. That is SWERVESBAR podcast@gmail.com. Does anyone have any toys they would like to talk about?
I went to Cypfest with Onyx and I got myself a Siege Impactor from the 3-pack. So his head is
Oh,
more like
nice.
a gladiator head, which I really like. It's more towards the IDW Impactor, which I really, really love the figure, and I've been messing around with it on my desk a lot.
Nice.
I got a Funko, which is a gift from Onyx. It's a Funko Soundwave, and if you guys know me for a long time now, he's my favorite Transformer.
What, really?
Right. I'm trying to read. It's a Funko Transformer 26 Soundwave, and my God, does his helmet just look radical in this one?
Radical
One
dude.
thing I love about Funkos is their heads are huge, but this one looks aggressive. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, folks, do you remember that episode way back when I was saying this is my favorite IDW Optimus Prime character, and I'm gonna order a toy of it? Done.
Done.
Yeah,
Done.
it's here. I have it. It's fantastic. It's its masterpiece size and scale. I do not have a trailer with it, but on the instructions it says it can hold a masterpiece Optimus Prime trailer to it, and it comes with an adapter as well. It is fantastic. The only problem I have with it is his head is maybe a little too small, but everything else is great. His eyes light up is great. Fantastic.
Nice.
Hilo, do we
Outstanding.
need to have a talk?
No, stop it. How many times have I told you? It's not a Twitch, but it is
Okay.
called Twitch. So I've been streaming on the platform called twitch.tv/kilobyte prime, where you can find me there Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll be playing video games, talking about Transformers, Kamen Rider, and all the good geeky stuff that you humans enjoy. And I hope to see you all there. We can all have fun. And if you want updates on streams when they're happening and if they're going to be moved, you can follow me on Twitter at Kilobyte Prime.
Fantastic. Are you two ready for Transformers Till All Are One Volume 2?
Yes.
I'm ready.
Kilobyte, do you mind taking us out?
Will do. If you've enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing. If you want to help out the show even further, we have started a Patreon. All of the proceeds will go to supporting the show and keeping the lights on. Of course, we have some tiers that offer other forms of gratitude, such as 3D printed files and an entry to our Discord channel. You'll even get early access to our comic review videos a week before they're publicly released. Also, we have a goal to reach 500 subscribers. We'll be holding a brand new kind of giveaway we've never done before, so make sure to click that subscribe button and tell your friends that it's always a good time. And as always, we hope you're all staying safe out there. Thank you so much for listening. Till all are one.
Till All Are One.
Till all are one.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Swerve's Bar Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at Swerve's Bar. If you are interested in more content, try checking out the spin-off D&D series, Transform Rollout. The first season, Rise of the World Killers, is completely out now. Let us tune in for a preview now.
Well, we better start acting like we're caught for
Yeah.
whatever's coming down there.
Yeah. You guys are in big trouble. Yep. Totally.
Oh no!
Please
Woe
get
is
on your
me.
hands and knees. You
Okay, that's getting a little weird.
scumbags.
Let's get a little weird. I'm gonna cut that bit. This
Get
came.
on your knees,
I've
you
been
scumbags.
The bumpers, the real bumpers are
Fascinating. There's also a YouTube channel with bonus content with a link provided below. And if you are so inclined, you can support us on Patreon, where you can get even more bonus content, such as several 3D files and access to their Discord. Links will be provided below. And transmission.